Hey, teacups, it's your girl Monica. Welcome back to the All About the Tea channel. Joining me tonight are teacup affiliates, Plez.
Hey,
Yay! What's the lip color of the day?
it is a matte lipstick by the Crayon Case called Fruits.
Mm, okay, now. All right.
Mhm.
I like that.
Mhm.
Bishop's in the building. Hey, Bishop.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Mhm.
We have Schoolboy. Hey, Schoolboy.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey.
hey. And also joining us tonight for this tea spilling evening is fellow YouTuber Adam from Up and Adam. Hey, Adam.
hey,
Hi,
how you
guys.
doing?
Hey.
Hey.
Monica, your voice is always so soothing.
Thank you. Listen, it was only right that Adam came back. He was here when I spilled this RHOC, the whole reunion drama. So I said, you know what? Why don't I invite Adam back? Because I love your perspective on things, Adam. All right, y'all. First and foremost, I need y'all to hit that subscribe button down below. If you're already subscribed to the channel, bang that notification bell. And while you're down there, you might as well hit the like button. Teacups, on the agenda tonight, I am spilling exclusive tea regarding the future of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Who's in, who's out, and Shannon's worst nightmare. Let's get into it.
A website called All About the Tea.
She told all about the tea that during the fight.
All right, y'all. All right. Before I even get started, let me do the customary. I need to make this disclaimer. All media outlets, this includes YouTube vloggers, bloggers, Instagram pages, and entertainment websites. This is an All About the Tea exclusive. If you re-report this tea, all I ask is that you give and credit All About the Tea. That's it. Thank you. All right, y'all. Season 15. Let me see who we have in the chat before we get started. Let me give the people a little bit of time to get in here and grab their wine and put the kids to bed. We got a full house, but we're going to let everybody just get up in here. Begin. Right? Okay. Why don't we go ahead and do the roll call? Hey, Brittany, I see you. Miss Kaya. Hey, Miss Kaya. Anna, Marja Bond, the interracial perspective. Hey, how are you? Misbehaving. I missed you. Grando, Jasmine Lockett, Belda, Nisa, Red Sox. Hey, Red Sox. Jamaica, Darren Hood, all the mods in the building. Shout out to the mods. Stacy Wilson, Courtney Giff. Hey, Courtney. Not paid by Monique, aka Miriam. Hey, Miriam. Lawanda, Gail, Dukes. Hey, Dukes. Thank you for all the support on social media. I see you. Beautiful Kimmy. Hey, beautiful. I love that name, Kimmy. Julia. Hey, Julia. Nadia, Wanda, Pinky Love. Oh my gosh, we got a packed house, y'all. Okay. Everybody is filling in here. Hey, Heidi. Hearts and hugs to you, Heidi. All right, y'all. So season 15 of The Real Housewives of Potomac was nothing short of a disaster, right? We can all agree on that, right?
Mhm.
Ratings were in the toilets. Kelly Dodd's racist and COVID comments. Bronwyn beating up her husband and offering drugs to a minor. Shannon and all her lies. The others were just, I don't even know, insignificant. I even mentioned them. The OGs, Tamra Judd and Vicki Gunvalson missing, right? There was just something missing. So I'm going to dive into the tea now. According to a rock solid source, the same source that gave me the drug reunion tea, Bravo and Evolution Media is the production company that produces RHOC, might cancel the show. They're thinking about it. They're in talks to cancel RHOC in its entirety after this disastrous season 15. I am being told if they do decide to come back, filming for season 16 will be delayed for months. I'm being told if they do decide to keep the show, they won't start filming until the summer because they are doing a total rehaul of that show. And that may include firing the entire cast. That's how bad things are. Maybe I should stop right there. Plaz, what is your reaction to this tea?
It's shocking, but honestly, it's necessary. I am of the belief that a lot of these older shows, it's time to phase them out. You know, we've seen all we can see. It's time to either phase out or completely recast. So I think they're going the right way. The people have shown, the ratings have shown that the show is not what it was. And I honestly think it's because we've reached the end of the road with a lot of the characters. It only works when there's an initial friend group that has its own genesis. You know, when you start putting random strangers together, it's just hard to create believable stories and storylines that people really want to invest and watch. I was a OC, you know, OG old head. I watched all the way back in '07. I think they started in 2007. So I loved the initial cast. And once Vicky and Tamara left, you know, it leaves a lot to be desired. And you have so many other people that just want to come on now with their own agendas or to be famous. Um, so I think it's time. I think it would be great to see a Real Housewives of San Francisco or a Real Housewives of San Diego. Somewhere, you know, the Valley. I don't know whatever else is out there in California, child, but I think it's a good look. If this is what they decide to do, I think it would be great. I think it would bring something new to the West Coast, and I'm here for it.
Yes, I can see Real Housewives of Silicon Valley. Right? They're rich. They have quirky lifestyles because their husbands are so smart. Well, even the wives too. I mean, everyone can be a female into the tech as well. The Bishop, what are your thoughts on the tea I just spilled?
Good for them. I never watched the show. I tried the reunion for the you know, that last disaster one. I had to fast forward to the good parts because they were dragging, and it's good for them because let's be honest, a lot of their faces are dragging on that show. Let's be real. I'm like, my goodness, it looked like Robin's hair is on their face. I'm like, Skid Row. What's going on? Especially that brown one trick. I'm like, she took in too many demons. I'm like, goodness gracious. Rehab can't save that. And no Dr. Miami can fix it either. But fix it, Lord. But anyways, I can't wait till, you know, I need to see something different. I need to see Real Housewives of Wyoming or something. Give me somewhere, area that we don't never see. Like when they did with Salt Lake City, I was like, okay,
that was
different.
Yeah. Angela, thank you so much for the super chat. Hi, Monica, Plez, Schoolboy. Welcome, Adam. Love you all. We love you too. Thank you. Adam, your thoughts on the tea I just spilled?
Well, I first want to say I think that it took me about the 2 weeks that it's been since I've been back with all of you guys who are amazing, but to pick my jaw up off of the ground since the last time we spoke, because last time you did drop a lot and I wasn't expecting it. This time I have to say I'm not surprised, you know, just like Plez was saying, San Francisco, you know, having these tech women, Silicon Valley, I'm sorry. But there's so many more interesting parts of California that we can enter into, and almost like the Pirates of the Caribbean series that eventually came to an end. All good things must come to an end. And I feel like at this point, we're dragging it out with really bad casting. All of the women need to go. I can see where they just need to take a timeout, almost like Real Housewives of Miami. Take a break and then revamp if you do want to come back. But as of right now, there's really no point in bringing it back. But just like Plez said, and the bishop. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City brought that element of religion. Real Housewives of San Francisco or Silicon Valley will bring that element of new money and excitement. So there's a lot that we can do. As far as Orange County, though, I almost feel like it's a wrap.
I know. Yeah, I agree with you, Adam. Good points. Schoolboy, what are your thoughts on the tea I just spilled?
It's not surprising. The ratings are terrible. They're at the lowest it's ever been on that show. And just like everybody's saying, that you've gone as far as you can go with what you have at this point. You took away Tamara and Vicky, and that's when I started watching, because then you just started adding all these, people that wouldn't even normally hang out with each other. It's just, adjacent people, and you're trying to make it work, and the real chemistry has actually gone from the show. So I think, and for me personally, Atlanta needs to go do the same thing. I think it's just oversaturated. California and Atlanta, to me, are super oversaturated. We've had every different type of reality show out there in those areas. Unless you're going to go somewhere very different, like Silicon Valley, as was said earlier, or San Francisco. Like, I'm actually tired of seeing California on TV. I'm actually tired of seeing Atlanta. So let's go somewhere where we don't even know. Hey, why don't we go to Seattle? Even some people that own some dispensaries. Go somewhere in the Midwest. I mean, try something different. I think they're sticking to one laurel and one way of doing things with all of their franchises. Why don't y'all try another approach? I feel like Bravo's not even thinking out of the box anymore.
Yeah, I mean, even Andy Cohen looks bored at these reunions. You can tell his heart's not in it anymore. So these shows have lost direction. RHOP, they have so much personality. Those ladies were able to carry that show. So it needed very little input from production and, Andy Cohen and those people at Bravo. They were able to do it. Maybe revamp, maybe cancel,
Or maybe do a spinoff. Like Atlanta need to do a spinoff with Tanya, whatever her name is, and go to Real Housewives of Toronto. I'll be interested in seeing that with the different backgrounds of people coming from the islands, like Caribbeans.
Yeah,
I would love to see their lives. And who else can be on there? LaToya.
Oof,
she's from Canada.
LaToya.
But you
mean the Real Housewives of Canada?
Yeah, of Toronto. Yeah,
Toronto. Okay.
Yeah, because LaToya, she actually much different when she on her channel. Because I kind of watched it last. I'm like, let me see about this chick because she's getting on my nerves on Atlanta. And I'm like, and I seen her in her element. I'm like, okay, I kind of put up with you a little bit. Okay.
Oh Lord, I gotta go check it out because I can't put up with her for 1% or 2%. Yeah. Oh,
right on the show. No.
Ooh, no. Courtney, I agree. Vicky was fun. Y'all know Vicky's my favorite, right? Shout out to Vicky Gunvalson. I admire that woman. She has amazing work ethic. She's inspiring and she's a pioneer in the game. I mean, we can all learn from Vicky Gunvalson, all those housewives. All right, so I'll continue, guys. According to a rock solid source, okay, I am being told, like I said, if they do come back with this show, they're going to delay filming for 6 months. They won't start production on it, I'm being told, until the summer because they want to revamp the entire, not just the cast, but just the entire show. So like the panel was saying, at that point, you might as well just stick a fork in it and start fresh. As for the cast, let's get down to the casting. I'm being told Kelly Dodd is out. She is fired after her COVID and racist comments. They're done. She's a liability and they're cutting ties. Bronwyn is fired. Elizabeth Vargas is gone. She just didn't cut it for her first season. The rest, Shannon, Gina, and Emily, it doesn't look good for them either. Okay. I'm being told by this insider that they're considering recasting the entire cast, getting rid of all of them. I heard the producers are pissed with Shannon for bringing that drug offering to a minor stuff to the reunion. As I exclusively reported, 2 weeks ago, Bronwyn approached Shannon's then 14-year-old daughter, Stella, alone at a beach party and offered her drugs and her drug dealer's number. The drug in particular being nose candy cocaine. Okay. No one at Bravo or Evolution Media knew Shannon was going to bring that tea to the reunion. And in the end, it made Bravo look bad. And when you make Bravo look bad, there's a problem. There's a big problem. It made them look like they're being negligent and not protecting a child. And you saw the social media backlash. I mean, it was ugly. It was really, really nasty. This is why they scrambled to edit that reunion and soften the blow. I heard there was much more said to the incident at the reunion than viewers saw, but it was all edited out. And I'm being told Andy Cohen, like I said, no longer has a lot of control at Bravo. And that's very clear. I mean, that's evident. We could see his head's not in the game anymore. And his heart's not in it. I'm hearing also there's big changes happening at Bravo overall. Let me stop right there. Plez, what are your thoughts? Sound off.
It just, to me, further cements that it just needs to bow out and be done. I don't even know if a recast at this point is gonna, rectify everything that happened. The way they glossed over that at the reunion, was bad. And I don't know if over editing was the right way to handle that. If more was said, if people, took issue with Bronwyn, they probably actually needed to show that, because right now, all it served to do was reinforce the disparity between how the predominantly white casts are handled, the predominantly black casts. Regardless of if something is accepted or known in your community or like no big deal, to most people outside of maybe those communities, those were heavy allegations. And for the other women in Bravo not to address them with the due diligence that they needed, it's just not good. It's not fair. You can blame it on editing or whatever, but that just lets you know that there truly is a systemic problem there. Mm-hmm. So for me, once you get too many people trying to protect everybody, that just means it's too far gone. And you kind of need to go and throw the baby out with the bathwater at this point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, huh? Right?
None.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ain't no fun. All right. Adam, what are your thoughts on the tea I just spilled?
I think that everything that you're saying right now at this point, I'm on board with, because even Bethany Frankel, who is an OG from New York, Lisa Vanderpump, who's an OG from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Nene Leakes, OG of Atlanta. All of these women know that there's something that's changing within the franchise, and it's almost losing some sort of pizzazz. They lived it when it was at its best, and now for some reason, I don't know if it's because Andy Cohen's heart's not in it as much anymore, like you're saying, and he's not as involved with casting, but there's something missing. We're missing an element here that's obviously affecting the ratings, because us as viewers, even though a lot of people are blaming the fact that COVID, people had time to stay home, so they're watching these reality shows and they're able to dissect them for real storylines versus fake storylines, what's produced and what's super pre-produced. I feel at this point we can read through all of it. And, I think it was Pless at the very beginning who said there are friendships, that are kind of manufactured here. And one of the best rated shows on Bravo until everything happened in 2020 was Vanderpump Rules. And that was because they took a cast of friends, people who were real friends for 5 to 10 years before even coming onto the show and having cameras in their face. And it meshed well and it translated on camera. Now we're just adding whoever we think is going to work. And we're like, all right, Housewives, season 16. No, that doesn't work. So I don't know. They have to fix it, or else Housewives is not going to be a thing anymore, especially with Netflix having Bling Empire or HBO having House of Ho. There's so many new, exciting reality shows that they better get it together, or else they're going to be on their way out.
Absolutely. And mentioning Bling Empire, I'm glad you brought that up, because that show, we love it. It's authentic. They're being themselves. It doesn't seem produced. It seems like real life drama. I love that lady that looks like Marisol's mother. I love her. I don't know her name. Anna. Okay. Yeah. When she showed her titty in that scene, I was like, yes, it's just all so real.
I didn't know Netflix had the ability to do. I was like, this is raw.
And I said, wow, she has a nice body for her age.
All right, Anna, good. Wow. It was the never mind.
When the Asian boy that's on there that's adopted, we brought his mother on, and she's just such a lovely person, and the whole group connected with her. I love that show. Schoolboy, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think, to be honest with you, all Housewives franchises are pretty much the same. Even when they premiere a new one, Salt Lake City gave me the same vibe. Because you had Jen doing the most. You had, I mean, I think Housewives has ran its course, to be honest with you. I think it's one of those reality series that you've gotten all you can get out of it, let it go, because there's so many, like you said, new reality series with people with actually real money, like really long generational wealth money. So that's a little bit different looking at that versus looking at people who are basically new money or, semi-inherited or, inherited adjacent, or married into it. So it's a little bit different. I think the flair has lost its luster, and they've gotten lazy with the productions. There's no actual storylines anymore. When you're being really, really lazy, this is what you get. And I've heard since for a while, Andy Cohen no longer has executive producer. He has no power. So yeah, he's probably does not care about it anymore because he doesn't control anything. He cannot pick and choose and decide who he wants to keep as his favorites. He might be able to give you a little pointer to try to keep your job. But the reality is that I feel like once they get to about season 7, 8, that's it. You need to either, most people's storylines are complete or they're on their way to be completing. And that's when you need to insert somebody else to either replace them with enough personality that they're going to be interesting enough, they're going to keep people's attention, and they actually have a storyline that's valid that people are going to believe. Because let's be honest, 90% of reality TV is fake. We all know it. Whoa. So it's you're not even getting anything authentic anymore. Sorry.
I agree with you.
My dreams. It's all fake.
You just told them Santa Claus wasn't real.
What do you mean to crush your dreams?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's lost its authenticity. It's no longer real. We can feel it. It's very produced and manufactured. I liked when Kelly Dodd was coked up because she brought the crazy. When she hit Shannon over the head with that bell, that was classic. I loved it. Okay. And Shannon was acting all Shannon's a hypochondriac, acting all crazy like she needed to go to the ER. I loved it. And Vicky and Tamra just, playing along with her nonsense, the shenanigans, saying, oh, girl, it's going to be okay because they hate Kelly. That was good. See, that worked. That worked. This what's going a sober Kelly Dodd. Emily, why would we even talk about her? They didn't even give her a package at the reunion. Did y'all notice that? That's some tea. Emily Simpson is so boring that she didn't even get a package at the reunion. Go back and watch.
I technically didn't even notice that, but yeah.
Right? She's so boring. It's like no one even cared. No one even cared.
You talking about this season reunion?
Season 15, Emily Simpson. Y'all need to go back and watch. That's some tea. They did not give her a package.
Shannon does act erratic though, but she also could have had Bronwyn put her phone number into her phone under Cool Mom too, and could have taken her up on that. That was solicits illegal substances. Shannon's behavior is very erratic. So
it is. Well, let's touch on that, Adam. So Shannon did an interview recently and she said no drugs were offered. Mind you, on the reunion, she said, you offered my daughter drugs, verbatim. I have the clip. I have the audio. I have the video of Shannon saying, when my daughter was 14, you offered her drugs, or and your drug dealer's number. She said the word drugs. She said that. She did. I understand now she got in trouble with the network and she's backpedaling and pussy popping. Excuse my French. That's what she's doing, basically. We can all see it. We're not stupid. We were born at night, but not last night, Shannon Beador. And she is just all over the place. She said in that recent interview that Bronwyn took her daughter's phone. This is how determined Bronwyn was to get her daughter hooked on drugs. Took her daughter's phone and said, call me. I got the good stuff. I got the drugs. I got the cocaine, the Molly. Here's my number. Let's store it under Cool Mom in your phone. Can you imagine how many kids she's done that to? And she wasn't drunk. When you're drunk, you're not thinking that clearly. You're not doing all those things, taking someone's phone, a little child's phone, putting programming a number. I can't even do that on a good day. Much less being all, liquored up. Putting your phone number in this child's phone and actually programming the number to say Cool Mom so the girl can call her to get the drugs and stuff. Child, this is just insane. Up and Adam, comment, please share your thoughts on that right there.
I mean, listen, my parents have collectively been married over 11 times. And I had a stepmom one time take my phone away. Just take my phone away. And my mom knocked on the door, waited for her to answer. She answered, and my mom decked her and ended up going to jail for it. So with that being said, I couldn't even imagine what my mom would have done as a mom had somebody offered me some sort of illegal substance. Or even, I'm only 27, but if I were a parent, I don't know. I think that there's no way to work around this. Honestly, I can totally 100% understand the reasons that Kelly Dodd would have her position revoked. I think that she's completely insensitive in the way that she speaks, and she loves to put controversial topics out there and not have any backing or any sense of just like awareness, right? So you should be fired for that. However, if she's going to be fired for that, then over here on this side, Bronwyn should also be fired because you're talking about a child. I remember when I was 13, 14, and I had somebody put a substance in my face, and it's very tempting. You're a kid and you have an adult saying this is okay. So I don't know how many other people can relate, but it's just the fact that what is right and what's wrong is wrong. And this was wrong of Bronwyn. And I don't want to see anybody lose their money. However, you need to be held accountable. So I think this is stupid. And I think that, yes, Real Housewives of Orange County, take whatever you need, take a break, take 6 months off, whatever it is, but get rid of the people you need to and get the Heather Dubrow's back, the Vicky Gunvalsons, the Tamra Judges, because we didn't have all of this mess before. It was lighthearted fun.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. Any decent mother went over to Bronwyn's house and knocked her out. The 2 front teeth would have been gone down her throat. Schoolboys, sound off. What are your thoughts on Bronwyn putting her phone number in this minor's phone and labeling it as the Cool Mom so she can get all the drugs?
It's Bronwyn.
Yeah.
She looked coked out every time you see it. So that ain't that's not she looks like a freaking ghost. I seen pictures of her, like she looks like Casper. I look like, and she looks like Patrick Swayze in Ghost, where they was rubbing the and they was making the clay pot. Like, I think Bravo and NBC and Universal is in a lot of hot water. And the force of reckoning is coming, and they're just going to clean house. I think they're going to clean house with all executives. They're going to clean house with production companies. They're going to clean house a lot, because if they don't, they're going to have more on their plate than they bargained for. They've already got Mariah's lawsuit. So, why would you want to keep adding to the issues that you already have? And I've seen their lovely new commercials of Black History Month. So it's like you got to clean it up. You got to clean up the image. And the fact that they allowed the production company to keep squeezing these storylines out further lets you know there was some negligence up in there, all up in through there. somewhere on both sides, and you cannot just blame that on the production company. Whoever was close to Bravo that knew that they were squeezing storylines should be fired too. Because like, why would you come to a reunion and say somebody offered your child drugs, and then you backpedal on a national TV show that you know it's gonna get out that you lied? So this also is looking at Bravo like, okay, you hiring people that don't have integrity and don't have no sense of accountability. It's really, hey, to me, they can go ahead and cancel the whole network. I'm cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like somebody taking the stand and making a claim against somebody, putting them right there in their whole life in jeopardy, and then all of a sudden saying, you know what? It was an accident. I didn't mean what I said. I said it because I was scared in the moment. It's like you're retracting because you don't want to lose your own job, but at the jeopardy of what? Your own child, the sanity of your kid, your family. Is the fame in this platform more important? However, like, I mean, I would understand being a part of a Bravo show. I've been around it. I've been around it for years. So I know a lot of people, it gets to their head and they feel important. But also, what comes first? The level of importance that you feel, or your family? Again, I'm not a father, but I would just assume your family would be at the forefront of everything, not your fame.
Absolutely. Plus, sound off on Bronwyn putting her phone number in that minor's phone and labeling it "Cool Mom."
Well, again, in certain communities and certain environments, it's known. Do we not remember the affluenza kid from Texas who was getting everybody drunk? His house was the party house. His parents would buy him liquor. They would do drugs. It's normal in certain populations. That's literally what privilege is. You grow up feeling that life and rules and the laws do not apply to you. For me though, this is again becoming on Bravo and NBC Universal, or Universal NBC, however it goes. Sometimes as a corporation, you have to protect people from themselves. And one good way they can even absolve themselves of some liability is to create a code of conduct. You've seen it happen now. So you can't go, firing on people like we said before with the violence on Potomac. Oh, Bravo doesn't condone violence. I can't tell. You didn't give that disclaimer for New Jersey. You didn't give that disclaimer for Beverly Hills. You didn't give that disclaimer for OC. Absolutely. You don't give it for Atlanta. It's not a big thing when almost all of these casts have had physical altercations. So to me, the right thing to do on an ethics level, even a business ethics level, is say, these are the things that we will not tolerate. In that way, everybody now moving forward, when they sign a new contract, they know what their expected code of conduct is. It happens in almost every other profession.
Right.
Reality TV should not be any different.
Absolutely. See, technically, the housewives themselves are employed by Evolution Media. Now, while Bravo NBC buys the show, they buy the package for the season, the girls are not technically employed by Bravo NBC, who has a human resources department. I would assume that Evolution Media has human resources where these ethics and guidelines are supposed to be followed, but apparently not. All hell broke loose at that reunion. I want to address this comment by Sasha T. It's a very good comment, very good insight. Can we talk about the manipulative aspect of her labeling herself as mom in that child's phone? Didn't I tell y'all in the previous videos that Bronwyn is a predator? I said the same thing on Twitter when I first broke the story. And I had one lady, not a lot, I had one or two ladies say, what are you talking about? She's not a child predator. Yes, she is. When you approach a child, especially alone, with this type of criminal intention, That is predatory behavior. And for the life of me, you got to be really stupid. I'm going to call y'all stupid if you think Bronwyn has only approached Stella. No, this is a repetitive behavior. It's habitual. She's a predator. And it's sad to think about the amount of children Bronwyn has got hooked on drugs, or they're strung out because of her, or their lives are ruined. It's disgusting. It's manipulative. It's predatory. But going back to something Adam had said, Adam talked about Shannon's parenting, and you touched on it as well, Plez. That is why David Beador, her ex-husband, wants nothing to do with her. He won't talk to her at all. He won't. She can't pick up a phone and call him. He wants absolutely nothing to do with her. And it's because she's a trash parent. Let's keep it real.
I need him to want better for his daughters, though.
Yeah,
he has to step in for them.
He's a disciplinary in the co-parenting situation, and she just lets them do whatever they want. She's the cool mom. She's the cool. They just run over her.
If that's the cool mom, then we're all.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She puts money. Look at her decision-making process. Instead of calling the police, instead of texting David or sending him an email, I understand you verbally can't speak to him because he won't take your call. But you could have sent him a text message. You could have emailed that man. Heck, you could have gone to social media under a burner account and DM'd him and said, hey, I want to let you know what's going on. And then she should have called the police. See, that's a trash parent that puts money, and it had nothing to do with Bronwyn's sobriety. It really did. It had nothing to do with it. And even if it did, you're going to put, where's your head at? You're putting a stranger's sobriety over your child's welfare? Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. Bishop, sound off. What are your thoughts on Bronwyn putting cool mom in his child's phone? That's right.
The Real Housewives of orange jumpsuits. I'm ready for it. A lot of these, like you said, trash parents, they need to be locked away. And I want to see these housewives behind bars, along with Erica Jane or Erica Girardi. She needs to be in the orange suit brigade as well. And I want to see them all get locked up, because if Portia can get a mug shot, looking stunning as she did doing season 6 reunion, if she has to get a mug shot, and why can't all these other raggedy heifers get mug shots as well? That's how I feel, because there's a certain element that's placed upon, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Black people. We have to be model citizens. And if we are raggedy, they put it on us and like, oh, we don't condone this. We don't condone that. Come on now. You can be better than this. And not even given the human element that, Teresa did when she flipped over that table. I understood her frustration. Why can't I understand Portia's frustration when she snatched Kenya by the hair? Because Kenya put a bullhorn in her face. I would have snatched somebody up too. I'm just saying. So let's stop acting like these people don't have human elements. It's just almost like we got to be super people.
Yeah.
And I'm not feeling that. And someone to offer a booger sugar to a child, folks should have been called. I'm sorry, if I would have this cameraman, I would say, should I be recording this? I would have kept recording and put the recorder down like 911. We have a criminal here that offered a child some drugs. Yeah, we are here in such Orange County, California. The zip code. Let me figure it out. I'm not from here, and I'm sorry. I would have called the police on her ASAP. And it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
It really is. It makes I can't understand the logic. As a mother, what was Shannon thinking? And then the lies on top of the lies. Kelly Dunn came out and ran her mouth. She's in trouble too, by the way, because there was a gag order placed on all of them. But, in her haste to be, I don't even know what the hell's wrong with Kelly. She must have been high that night. Anyway, she came out and she admitted, she spilled the tea too, that Molly was offered, right? Molly water, which you drop a Molly in the water, it's Molly. Oh, y'all, let's keep this train moving. me personally, someone commented in the chat and they said that they wanted Gretchen back. I totally agree. Bring all the OGs back. I want Vicky back, of course. I love Vicky. Shout out to Vicky Gumberson. I want Vicky. I want Tamra. I want Heather Dubrow. Real money. Heather. Yes. Hoity-toity Heather. Oh my God. It don't get any better than her. I loved her. Gina, what do y'all think? Y'all want Gina back? No. Lori Peterson. She got money now. That means she got money. She got money. Tammy Knickerbocker. I miss y'all. I used to love me some Tammy Knickerbocker. Look at the OGs. You got Lori, Vicky, Gina, Tammy Knickerbocker, Tamra. I miss them. I miss them. I really do. This is when the show was good.
Tamra and Vicky are the only two that look good there.
All right, Adam.
Y'all look at Tammy's makeup.
yeah, I can do without Tammy, but I do miss Gretchen and Lori, and the one in the brown. I can't think of her name.
Oh, this one here. This is Gina right here in the
Gina.
brown.
Yeah, I loved Gina and her horrible husband and that divorce and them children. Girl, I used to love her. Oh, her husband
passed. Remember, her husband had passed. He died.
Oh wait, I thought he had. Wasn't he cheating though? That's the one that got the divorce with the baseball player's son. Right?
Knickerbocker. Yeah. What was that guy's name? He was like community peen over there in OC because he was dating all of them. Remember, he slept with all. Remember him?
Yeah, but I didn't know he passed away.
Not him. Her husband, her ex-husband passed away.
Oh,
the one that had the beverage company, and he had all them girls half naked out in the OC, handing it out at the beach. Remember that? He passed away. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's this young girl's name again? It begins with a J.
Jenna.
What is it? Oh. Right here in the middle. She was Slade's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. I thought it was Jenna or something.
Jolie, Jocelyn, something of that nature. But yeah, she was cool too. You know,
Joe. They just called her Joe. Joe and Slade.
Joe, yeah. It was kind of eerie. She gave me kind of predatory vibes when she was coming on to Gina's son. Remember him? She was having him over and was flirting with him over at the pool and stuff. I was like, girl, what is you doing?
That was defined when they played baseball. I'm not
mad. Yeah, Joe. Joe. Yep. Jola Rosa. Okay. Singe, thank you so much for the super chat. Singe says, they should have just canceled season 15. COVID already halted production, and Kelly's actions, along with Bronwyn's, were enough to bring the show to a halt. Bravo is out of control. I agree with you. Yeah. COVID kind of messed things up, but even without COVID, that show is just not the same.
Monica, can I point out something really quick?
Sure, absolutely.
So Plez pointed out the fact that, and this is something that I never really thought about, but I grew up in South Florida, down in Palm Beach County, and I had a lot of friends in high school and stuff who had parents who would facilitate a whole party for us with alcohol and this and that, and they would go away for like the weekend, and it was probably 50 to 100 high school students at a time that would just be messing up this whole house, and nobody would show up. It's like the family knew the police officers in town, and even on my graduation, the police officers knew that we were all under control in one area and that they weren't going to show up as long as nobody was driving down the mountain. They had one checkpoint, and if you didn't drive down the mountain, you were okay. I didn't actually realize until having this conversation, and I think that's why these conversations are so important, is that, there is a certain privilege that comes with that. And you don't really think about it when you're involved in it, right? Like I wouldn't think, oh, I'm privileged to have a graduation party, or I'm privileged to have a party where my friends' parents paid for everything and we get to have fun and at the end of the night just figure out how we're going to get home. But it makes so much sense that this isn't a normal for everybody. And I think that these conversations are so important. And it's actually unfortunate, like, the bishop said, sometimes I think when you have different ethnicities or races or cultures, you're expected to hold the bar at a different level. I think it's unfortunate that it takes people to get to the level that Kelly Dodd does before this conversation is upheld. So now we're going to fire her, which again, you say stupid stuff, you should be fired. But at the same point, you know, like these are conversations like Ples just had that it kind of wakes me up in the sense of now I realize, you know, I've always known that I've been privileged to a certain extent. But when you start pointing out the little things that come with that, just as basic as a house party in high school, it's so true. And it really opens your eyes. So I think that that's probably why I guess I'm thankful for being a part of this panel tonight, because you don't necessarily think of these things until somebody points them out to you.
Adam, I applaud you. Thank you for being so honest and candid. Of course, you sit in a place of privilege. You're a young white male. But a lot of times, your situation, your privilege isn't acknowledged. You're actually acknowledging it and sharing with us, you know, what really goes on behind closed doors, you know, which we kind of knew, but it just hearing it firsthand.
Hey, I'm not putting my phone in anybody or my number in anybody's phone calling myself cool mom. I want to say that really quick.
Of course not. I thank you for being open and honest about it. I really do. I really do. And I'm glad that you're learning and you want to learn and understand the dynamics of this world, this unbalanced world we live in. So thank you, Adam.
I mean, we've had this conversation too. I think that even on here, by everyone having a conversation, having a group or a panel, it just goes to show you that it's all about, you know, like the element of communication and that everybody can do better. Everyone can do better. Nobody's at their best, because if you're doing your best or you're working your hardest, you can work harder and you can do better. And I find that to be very real. And this almost like sitting here, normally I do these YouTube videos or collaborations and they're fun, but I feel like I'm being taught or I'm learning something from here and there's something that I'm taking away. And I think that's different. I'm not as much used to that. Normally I learn about a celebrity's favorite hairstyle or makeup, something so surface, you know. So this is something that you can take away and really learn from. So for that, I just appreciate it. That's all I wanted to check.
Kudos to you, Adam. Thank you. Thank you. Hearts and hugs and kisses to you for just being here and sharing your experiences and learning and saying thank you. I want to learn. I want to understand what my privilege plays in society and how I can make a difference. So kudos to you. Coach LaCream, thank you so much for the super chat. Carrie, thank you for the super chat. I have a Facebook page for Tamara's friends who like Tamara Judd. Okay, all right. I like her. I like Tamara. I didn't always like Tamara, but when her and Vicky made up, I liked her. It's like, okay, girl, welcome to the club. You're in. You know, I saw a different side of her because she really did have Vicky's back towards the end, and they made up and became friends. All right, we're going to keep this train moving. Are y'all ready for the Shannon tea?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
I got to pick my jaw back up.
All right, you'll be fine, Adam. It's not too bad. It's not too. So, according to a rock-solid source, David DeBoer, Shannon's ex-husband, is extremely furious at Shannon for not notifying him and the police about Brahman offering his daughter Stella drugs when she was 14. She's now 16. So this happened about 2 years ago. He didn't find out until the reunion aired. And as a result, he has put Bravo on notice that his daughters, all three, okay, is Stella, Sophie, and Adeline, are no longer allowed to film that show. Now, this is pretty significant because without the girls, a huge chunk of Shannon's storyline is cut. Bravo has a new policy I'm hearing. If the kids can't film, then Bravo will pass on you, like they did to Noella last season. Now, y'all probably saying, well, who the hell is Noella, right? Noella is an African-American sister. Let me go ahead and pull up her photo so you can see what she looks like. She's really pretty. Almost looks racially ambiguous, huh? And that's her husband. That's Noella. Now, she's a friend of Vicky, but she also became friends with this one here, Bronwyn. You know how Bronwyn likes to cling on to these Black people. Black Lives Matter, Black. You know how she is. Oh, my goodness. Y'all.
When the pussycat doll is dead.
Right. I was like,
what the hell is going on here? So Noella was heavily looked at for season 15, but they passed on her because she wouldn't allow her kids to be filmed. So instead, they went with Elizabeth Vargas. And I'm hearing Noella was the right choice because she's very opinionated, she's super rich, and she's beautiful. And you know they've been trying to implement a little color into all these shows. She would have been perfect. But they passed on her because her one stipulation was, you can't film my kids.
Kenya can't film her kid.
Who can't?
Kenya.
Yeah, but she's already on the show. You know, she's not coming in fresh and new. That's and then fair. They lost Nene in Atlanta. So they you got to keep some sort of entertainment and crazy on there, you know. And she was already on the show. Plez, sound off. What are your thoughts?
If they've truly taken as far as Shannon and her husband, again, Shannon needs to go. So I don't care. Great. I'm glad her husband has finally taken a stand. But in regards to Bravo, if they are really trying to force people to show their kids, that's trash. And again, it further lets me know how debaucherous and unethical they are. In my opinion, kids should not be on reality TV, especially once they get to like middle school, high school years. You know, it's one thing for Candy to show Lil Ace and Blaze, but once they get to a point where the actions of their parents on these shows can detriment them, I don't think they should be filmed. And as a parent, if I were participating in one of these shows, I wouldn't let you film and exploit my teenager either. Unless it's my teenager getting a check. No, okay then. No, I mean, it just goes too far. And as a business, they need to draw a line. Instead, it seems like they're trying to draw a line in the face of exploitation. They want to have your children and see what they see and catch what they catch, because we all know children, you know, they blurt it out. They see it, they say it. So, you know, the children do bring, I think, a sort of other mystery to it. I used to love, we were talking about Married to Medicine. I used to love when Laura would read her mama. But like I said, I think it gets to a certain age point where it's like, okay, yeah, let's not film the kids. And for them to try to make someone show their children, bad move.
In Atlanta, they allowed LaToya on, but she's supposedly only part-time, but we see her in almost every scene because they thought that would be Nene's replacement. She's always, you know, speaking whatever comes to her mind, she says. And
whoever thought that should be fired.
She's very, you know, she's very outspoken and outlandish, but she's not. Honestly, y'all, and this is just how I feel, and who knows what might come out. But LaToya gives me an element as if she's on something. There's something about her delivery, the way she speaks, the chipmunk cheeks, the glossed over eyes that just speaks, I'm on something. I'm doing what Wendy Williams used to do back in the day. And that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel about her. I don't find her entertaining in the least.
Well, you don't find her entertaining because it's not authentic.
Yeah.
You know, she comes from this YouTube world. I love YouTube, but she comes from a production background. And it never will come across good because she's trying too hard. Like you said, she's trying to be the Nene Leakes. She's trying to be the Kenya Moore. And that doesn't read well. Like, it's one thing to just be like, oh, girl, your wig is bad. But to keep going at something, like, she's trying to make a name for herself. And that's why no one likes her. It's inauthentic.
I agree with... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree with Plez because it's almost like when we're talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I think someone in this panel said earlier that the show even seems like it has an element of inauthenticity. I don't know how to say that word, but you know what I'm saying is like it's inauthentic to some degree. And you see somebody like Jen Shaw who's constantly reacting, and she has made it known that she is a huge fan of Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules. Lala Kent is constantly reacting. So she has done her due diligence in watching these different Bravo shows, and she's painted the character that she wants to be, almost like she put a production hat on, and she's like, this is the character I'm going to be, and this is how I'm going to carry the show. LaToya Ali 1,000,000% did that. Even coming on and knowing, like Drew Sidora just recently gave her an autographed photo of herself. She knew exactly who Drew Sidora was. She's very well versed with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she knew what character she wanted to come on and portray. And that's what viewers don't want to see, because at that point you're trying to be Nene, you're trying to be Kenya, but Nene and Kenya didn't have to try to be Nene and Kenya. They were just Nene and Kenya.
Bingo, absolutely. Bishop, what are your thoughts on David not allowing his daughters to film and then passing up on oh, that's real loud, Bishop.
Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry.
It's real loud. It's right in the microphone.
My bad.
What are your thoughts on them passing up on our beautiful sister Noella, our African queen? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. But I think if that would have been their saving grace for a better season, then they messed up, because it's the show is now tanking, and it's tanking real quick, and I guess if it is what it, I don't watch the show. I'll be honest with you, I just don't watch the show. But if it would have been a good season, I'm pretty sure y'all would have filled me in. I'm like, okay, let me turn it on. And I just honestly, yeah, I think it's just a wrap. I don't think one person can save it.
Right, I agree. Schoolboy, what are your thoughts on David saying, no, my daughters are out, they're not going to film?
I mean, I don't blame him. Can you really blame him? Reality TV's got real scumbuckety. And to be honest with you, I'm not too here for all of this integration on these different predominantly white casts, and the reason why I'm not here for it is because it's getting real tokenish.
And, what does tokenish mean?
It's getting token black, token Asian, like Dallas. They put a token Asian. Okay, yes, Tiffany Moon, don't get me wrong, she's a doctor, she has a degree, but with all of the racial controversy they had, so you put one minority on each cast. Stop doing that. If you're gonna put a minority on there, put a minority on two minorities. Why is it that we're getting this tokenism on each cast? And they already said that Sonia Morgan's having run-ins. They're all having run-ins with Ebony in New York, and she's not taking it from them, because that's an element. That's what I'm saying. Bravo with this narrative that they're trying to feed me. I'm not really here for it, and I'm not really here for all of this that a lot of these corporations are trying to feed me. Now you want inclusivity, but y'all weren't trying to do that from the jump.
Right.
Now you're trying to sell me this after everything that's going on in the world. Now you're trying to give me this in a neat package, and then when you try to present this to me, I'm not taking it because it's BS, and I know it's not really authentic and it's not real. Even if they would have put her on the show, they probably would be doing the same thing that they're about to try to do to Garcelle on Beverly Hills. It's going to be all of them against her. Why? Because she stuck up for Denise after they bullied Denise off of the show. It's a mentality of if you're going to do this gang up mentality, then you need to give that other person another minority, even it out. If you're going to integrate properly, so that you have one of everything or two or three of everything. Give me a rainbow cast. Don't give me a whole bunch of vanilla and you throw a little droplet of caramel or chocolate here and there, and then you tell me that you've made some new adjustment and this is going to be the thing that's going to save it. Because not one woman is going to save a franchise that already has issues. It's just not going to work that way.
Now, you know what? Let me say that. I will say this real fast, Plus. I don't mind them pulling the affirmative action card. I think it's good. Yeah, throw some people of color on there, but let it be organic. And for me, Garcelle feels organic. She fits in. And when they do fight, and she gives them the business or doesn't give them the because I heard they're coming after her. She said it. She said that they're coming after her, and that's fine. It felt organic with Garcelle. I'm hoping in New York it feels organic with Ebony and Brushan. I know personally Brushan does not play. She's a real sister, okay? And she's too much of a sister for them, so they had to make her part-time. They had to say, okay, we're going to cut your role a little bit because you know what I'm saying? So I hope it meshes well. I hope it comes off organically. I personally don't mind the affirmative action because we needed it. We needed people of color on those shows, but make it organic. They have to fit in organically.
And I don't mind that, Monica. I just don't feel like it should have took that damn long for us to get to that point.
Of course.
That's my issue. Why did it take so long for us to get to that point? Because it should have happened a long time ago.
After Plus, can I ask Bull Boy a question?
Yeah, that's fine. So for me, it's two things. I agree with you, Schoolboy, but the issue is it's not inclusion, it's diversity. They are just filling a quota, shut people up. True inclusion is what we're talking about. So, like, let's say they say they're going to keep OC, but they're going to recast it. You have to recast one of two ways. You have to go out and find a natural friend group, like we started these shows, or you have to get 5 or 6 complete strangers and create, as you said, your rainbow cast. And Monica, I think I'm a little different. I'm more like Schoolboy. We have to get to a place where we do not want to force our ways in places where we're not wanted. I am totally fine with them having predominantly white cast and predominantly black cast, because when you do the token diversity, dropping one here, dropping one there, you still create this disjointed narrative where they end up ganging up on one, and whether real or not, it looks racist. Whether it's inadvertent or not, people are always going to say it's racist. It's the number one reason why I was cool with Kim Zolciak getting her butt off of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Right. Because every time something happened, it was like, oh, you're attacking the white lady. No, they all do this on all of the shows, but because society itself is so messed up, any little interpersonal disagreement or fight that humans have gets mistakenly attributed to race. It's like what's going on now with the Black Bachelor. Like, girl, how many years they done had a white? Let them people have that show. The Carlos King and the what's the other man's name that did Think Like a Man, but him, Will Packer. You know, we've gotten our little dating shows over here on OWN or over here on, Lord forgive me, VH1, but whatever.
Right.
Quit forcing yourself. Now this young man feels like he has to pick a black woman, and if he doesn't pick a black woman, people are gonna be mad. And if let them people have, I mean, that's what mainstream media is. If it's gonna be inclusive, then it needs to be inclusive from production on up. It doesn't need to be one or two. And I'm sure Ebony, I went to law school with Ebony. Ebony doesn't play. I'm sure Ebony and everybody else is giving them the business in New York, as they should. Because again, like when we talked about Andy Cohen, we have to not be so sensitive that we don't realize what society really looks like on a whole. I'm pretty sure, I mean, Andy Cohen would be hard pressed to tell me that he had a black friend before he became an executive at Bravo. All of his friends, Nene, well, who were his friends, Nene, Bev, you know, his Bev relations. It's always this like token black woman, stereotypical, super attitude, super sassy, that he just like fetishizes, honestly. Like, and so when you don't have authentic relationships, that's what it's always gonna come off as. So I'm cool with watching the fabulosity of Beverly Hills without saying, well, where the black girl? That girl, they don't hang out naturally. So why force it?
But they hang out with Garcelle naturally. She was friends with Lisa Rinna.
Yeah.
That wasn't anything forced. She was
Exactly.
in that circle. Right.
Exactly. So that's what I
I
mean.
don't mind them bringing a black person on to fill a quota. I don't mind that. But let it be organic is what I'm saying.
And that's what I mean. Like, if it's an organic, already formed friendship, that's fine. But just picking random people, it's obvious. And I don't need it. I'm sorry. I don't need it. If it's a genuine friendship, that's one thing. But if y'all are just actually out here recruiting people, like we said yesterday for Married to Medicine, it feels like they went and found an Indian doctor to take over Mariah spot.
Yeah. I wonder if I don't know if she's Muslim. She could be Hindu.
Yes, she could be Hindu.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting if she was Muslim. I'd be like, wait a minute now. If they allow her to wear her hijab, yeah. Let me just acknowledge the super chat really fast. Angel, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, Adam, I know you had something to say, baby. Go ahead.
I have a few things to say actually. One was for Schoolboy because I just learned this term tokenism, which I wasn't aware of, and now I am. And you said that as long as there's two people, drop two people from a different ethnicity or race, or if you diversify, don't diversify with just one person. How do you feel? One, this is my first question. How do you feel about Real Housewives of New York? Because they did again bring in Ebony K. Williams this year, along with Bergen Shaw.
And I was glad because I'm tired of seeing spaces on TV where it's like, oh, well, only the Caucasian women can be rich. There can't be a self-made black woman, or there can't be black people that come from generational wealth. There's a lot of them in a lot of different sectors and different areas. And it don't have to be related to entertainment. Like, give me something besides the same rhetoric when it comes to my race. It's always, oh, they a rapper, they a basketball player, or they came from, music industry. Why can't I see something from my own people of a different background that still can vibe with your Sonia Morgans and your Luanns, and they can still be around those people and still serve it back. My issue with a lot of those casts is that they are conservative, and you know what it is from the jump. So when you put two people like that who are very outspoken and ain't gonna take the Karenisms that we get sometimes from how they act on the show, you're gonna get a reaction like that. So why be surprised and say, oh, I'm gonna pull you back because you too real? No, because they're not gonna accept someone mistreating them or just talking to them any old kind of way because you feel like you up here and they're still beneath here, even though they are in your same level. So it's like a way of not being able to see my people being seen as being equal. Don't give me a little bit. We shouldn't always have to rest on the laurels of affirmative action. That's my issue. Why do we always have to rest on that laurel? Why can't we be inclusive? Because even when we had Kim Zolciak, she I was glad when she was gone too, because it seemed like it was always, oh, they're picking on me. But Kim did a lot of things to ignite that fire. And then when it came back, it was like she couldn't take it. So it's like now when we give it to your cast that are predominantly white, you can't take it.
No,
why is that?
That makes sense. And then totally 100%, because I think that there is a stereotype too when you bring on new housewives, whether they come from an Asian background or a Black background or any of these different backgrounds, that you're right. There's a stereotype, and unfortunately these different networks play into it. But my second question was something that you already touched on, and it's the fact that it's almost like you're saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like it's like too little too late. Like you waited for a movement to happen, you waited for the whole world to go through a change, and now all of a sudden as a network you're speaking up and you want to, what you said is tokenism, take one person from a different ethnicity or diversity or race and bring them and put them as a part of the show. I mean, are you just dead set on that at this point with all of the different franchises?
They've already shown their hand.
That's what I mean. It's like, are you already checked out? Like you don't care?
I haven't checked out because I still watch New York. I still watch Beverly Hills. I watch those even without them having African American people on the show. I watched them when most African American people don't even watch those franchises because they didn't have someone that looked like me on the cast, so therefore they didn't watch it. It took Beverly Hills. Remember, their ratings have been crappy for the last 2 seasons. When they added Garcelle, they got a different element. They got African Americans watching the show because now, there's a black woman. Oh, we know Garcelle. We know she used to model. We know she was on the Jamie Foxx show. She acted. So, we could connect with that, and we saw something. Oh, and she really has the money, and she's there. It's just like for me with Bravo, and it's no disrespect to the Caucasian people in the room. My thing is the matter is that when I look at these little specials and I look at all the marketing that's going into all of the stuff that's going on, it doesn't feel authentic and it doesn't feel real. Because if you really felt this way, why weren't y'all giving to these different funds and all of this diversity way before all of this happened? And I still can't rock with how they treat Monique Samuels. And they've never apologized to that woman after everything that they have done. But you get over here and you can apologize to anybody else that you have a falling out with, but you can't apologize to this woman. And I just see how a lot of OG housewives, like somebody brought up earlier, Bethany Frankel. If you notice, Bethany Frankel says nothing about anything to do with housewives anymore. She's totally disconnected herself because she says there's more important things to worry about. So it's like, as you get a certain point, either you need to really revamp every single franchise if you're going to do it, or don't do it at all and leave it the way it is and just say, hey, this is how we have it. Because there's certain shows that I don't care if they stay white. I don't care because I don't watch it anyway. It doesn't bother me. I would rather it stay that way than for you to give me something that's so fake and unauthentic that you're trying to force this down my throat to make me not change the channel. Because there's so many other new things out there that I can watch that give me that.
Yeah. And Adam, just to bring it back home, like I am a true probably Bravo fanatic. Like I love Shahs of Sunset. Don't bring no black person on Shahs of Sunset, Bravo. For what?
Well, that's color. It's color there.
Don't bring one on Family Karma. I like it just how it is. Southern Charm before, I understand why they did what they did this past season, but I watched Southern Charm for years, since the beginning. And I'm from the Deep South. So just because a lot of them, other than Catherine, haven't been caught, I don't delude myself into thinking that some of them don't say certain things behind closed doors. But I'm not caring in the moment because I'm watching TV for entertainment. I like to see these crazy group of people get drunk, have the mama going off and talking about everybody, have the butler coming in and serving the drinks. It's entertainment. I want to get away from my regular world and see what it's like behind the gate in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, when I lived in New Orleans for 17 years. When they created Southern Charm New Orleans, they did it organically. They already put in the inclusion, the mixture of the races. And so it was fine. It went off without a hitch. But when you cherry pick and we're in an uproar over here, so we're going to drop somebody here and we're going to drop somebody over there. That's literally what it feels like. And we are smarter than that. It may pacify some people, but it doesn't to me. It just messes up the whole genesis of the show.
So you're pretty much saying that, real quick, just so I understand, we're pretty much saying that at this point, it's either keep the shows authentic to what they are and how they started, like Family Karma, who is a predominantly it's a show that's based around the Indian culture, or Real Housewives of Atlanta, who we have a ton of beautiful black women where Kim Zolciak didn't necessarily fit in because she was playing the victim card. You're saying either keep the shows the way that they've been structured at this point, or instead of changing shows that have already been established, if we're going to move forward within the network, you need to start moving forward with some sort of authentic relationship within different races, different communities, and start that way, as opposed to just cherry picking and, like what Schoolboy said, tokenism, adding one person from a different race into an already established cast.
Yeah.
And mix up your production companies. Why does your production company not have Black staff or Latino staff or Caucasian staff? Mix it up so that they understand how to handle each person that is on the cast, because not every culture is the same. You are just trying to placate to a moment to make it seem like, oh, we're doing this and we're gonna make it better, but it's not making it better, because a lot of us are not dumb. You know, there are some that just, oh, they believe anything that's fake. But if you really take it out of context and you really look at it and you look at how the world truly is and you verse it against that, it just doesn't read well. It doesn't come off well.
And this is why I'm ready for a real housewives of San Antonio with some Hispanic people. I'm ready for that. I want to see how they rich lives look in San Antonio, because there's a lot of rich Hispanic people.
There's a lot of rich people in Austin, Texas. That's another California, but they don't,
Yeah.
Or they're revamping Miami. Miami is literally, it's like a crock pot of all ethnicities, races, and cultures.
Never put it on there the first season. Why didn't you?
I mean, they had Spanish and white. They never actually technically, they didn't have a Black woman. But, now if they're revamping it and they're putting it on Peacock, like this is a time where it's been off for so long. Give us a little bit of everything. I agree with you. I think that they should take the time, instead of pushing a series out there just for ratings and making sure they can fill a slot, to correctly cast, because at that point, that's going to make all the difference in the world. We just saw it with Real Housewives of Orange County season 15. The cast was junk, so the ratings were junk. I mean, it was in the garbage can. So at this point, I think if they take a little bit of extra time, like, Monica was saying, maybe taking 6 months off to recast and kind of reboot, you can pick the right cast and the right structure in order to give us a good show that the viewers want to see, as opposed to just like piecing it together and being like, all right, go, because we need to fill a time slot in the next 6 months. So this is what it is.
Y'all really looking for Miami to come back? Because I tried watching that, and I tell y'all, it put me to bed.
No,
I was watching the reunions.
I just want to just really quick, guys. I just want to acknowledge the super chat really quick so I can show all the other comments. Lindsay, thank you so much for the super chat. It's crazy how NYC is one of the most diverse cities in the country, and they finally put a Black housewife. Yeah, took them some time. But Plez made a great point. Inclusion is great once it's done organically from the start, is what you're saying. You're just dropping people in later on down the line.
I'm sorry, I missed part of that, but that's kind of what I was going at, Plez, like what Plez was saying. If you're gonna do it right. Don't.
Yeah, the only way these kinds of reality shows work, like I said, are one or two ways. You either get an already formulated, socialite friend group who already have their own organic relationships, or you pick 5 to 6 different strangers so that we get to watch how they get to know each other, how they gel with each other, and the natural organic arguments or experiences or whatever that comes along with forming that sisterhood. It doesn't work when 4 people are BFFs, or at least, know each other, and then you got 1 or 2 stragglers over here trying to figure out how and where they fit in. It becomes forced. It's just not, it's not organic. And I know, I'm like you, Adam. I like to think that my reality TV is real, honey. Let me think it. Like when people put on their wigs, girl, make it blend in and look good. Make me think it's your hair. I don't want to know it's a wig. I don't want to know my reality TV is fake. When it becomes obviously fake, I quit watching it. I checked out of Love and Hip Hop back in 2013. I checked out of Black Ink Crew about 4 or 5 years ago.
I still watch
I can't do obvious stuff.
Adam, we're going to take some callers. I mean, you can hang out with us if you like.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally up to you. I'm around right now, so I'm totally down to take callers with you. Or if you guys need the space, I am down to check out. I mean, this has been absolutely awesome.
No, we're having a good time. It's a treat. Hang out with us. Yes, we like your perspective. I'm going to add Rachel to the chat. Hey, Rachel.
Hey, y'all. Hi, can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
Great. I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah.
That's good. This OC stuff is a hot A mess, y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
About the Shannon, all I can say is big ups to the dad. I know that the mom and dad had issues and whatnot. Whatever that was is what it was. They're divorced. But for him to start taking steps is admirable. And he pays $30K a month. So I would think his money should be invested wisely and he should start making some changes if he needs to in that regard. That's what she said, $30K a month, child. Okay, we all was like,
I was about to say, I wish I would have gotten in bed with Mr. Beador. What?
$30K a month? I'll be the parent.
But, in the OC, that's really, honestly, it's not that much.
It ain't, but I'll be the parent.
I'll be the parent.
Most of that's child support too. It's not the alimony. He got the alimony cut down to less than 10K. So he pays a lot in child support. Yeah.
Right. And going into that so-called mom, I've been watching ever since the beginning. And the way Bronwyn is, she's a hot A mess, worse than anything. They have 7, 8, 9 kids. And she's not being a mom to her own children. Mm-hmm. She's out there philandering with women. Now she's being with women. Nothing's wrong with that, of course. But I'm just saying, you have small children at home, and she's too selfish. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, she's been like this since a teenager, and she hasn't grown up. Yeah, she hasn't been held accountable. And with all these children, especially her son, if anyone knows and has been watching, he's coming into his feminine side. He's about 12 or 13 years old. I don't know exactly what it's called, so he's coming into his feminine side, just to be on the safe side. I don't want to disrespect. And he's wearing women's clothes, and she's taking him to women's shops. So it's important from what I see, it's very important for her to be his mother and for his father to be his father. Her household is just a hot A mess. Mm-hmm. And every chance I see, it's a horrible line in a newspaper article about how trifling Bronwyn is being. And and what she did to offering kids drugs and offering to be a plug for this and for that. Yeah, she is lucky she still has her teeth. And it's not just an urban thing, like Adam said. Even President Biden said when he was younger, he got his behind whooped. His grandma told him, don't come in the house without fighting if they calling you out to fight. We all were told that, I think. It's because of how we were raised, right? But that mess that Bronwyn is doing, it's not good. But the one thing she did do, you guys, we have to give her this one credit. She actually schooled those other ladies on Black Lives Matter. She expressed to them when they had a little outing somewhere about what it is, because they were under the impression, especially Kelly Dodd, that Black Lives Matter were a bunch of rioters. And she said it on the show. Check it out, y'all, this season. Kelly Dodd said Black Lives Matter was a bunch of rioters.
Rachel, I'm going to have to stop you right there real quick. Bronwyn is just using Black Lives Matter to deflect from her mother calling a Black man the N-word. They're very racist. Trust me, Black Lives Matter is just a storyline and a smokescreen for Bronwyn's other mess. Okay, that her predatory ways, the needles and the pipes in her closet, like you said, she's a married woman, and you're bringing your girlfriend into your marital home to lay up in the bed with you naked, and you got kids running around. That's inappropriate. She got 7 kids. That's very inappropriate. And they're confused. They don't know what's going on. So mommy got a girlfriend now? What is going on?
She needs to be a mother and stop being so selfish and putting herself before her responsibilities. But no one's made her not do that since she was a kid. Right. So she's ruining her kids' lives as well. Hopefully they'll be okay. But it is a hot A mess going on over there, and I wouldn't be surprised if DCFS was over there tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard they're investigating CPS. All right, Rachel, thank you so much for calling in. I always love your perspective, sis. You have a good evening. Okay.
You too. Have a good night, y'all.
You too. Bye. I just wanted to acknowledge this super chat from Tierra. Thank you, Adam, for holding space with us tonight. A lot of real wealthy Black women are not interested in reality platforms. That's the truth. Yeah. Big Red. Hey, girl. Thank you so much for the super chat. But really, I do miss it. I hope they get it together because I really miss it. So she wants the OC back. Okay, all right. Now I know the world's greatest entertainer has been waiting for quite some time. Hey, boo.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing this evening?
Doing pretty good.
Okay, I want to comment on OC. Well, before I go to OC, let me just do it like this. I believe all of this is truly Andy Cohen's fault. And I'm going to tell you why I say this. Andy always had like his favorites versus everybody else. And I actually seen on Twitter and Instagram on comments on who people really want back and who they don't really want back. Andy really, and the network also, should really listen to people on who they do and do not want on these shows. Because that is causing a bigger rift. And back to what Schoolboy was also saying about the diversity. All these shows, they could have already done this. Because especially like with Dallas and Atlanta, they're becoming a lot more diverse per se. They should already look into this before the BLM movement even happened. So that's a little funky on their part as well. But back to the OC, I wouldn't mind seeing Heather, Vicky, and Tamara back, because I'm also be honest, I feel like when Heather left, the show kind of went left because she actually had the money, she had the fabulous lifestyle because she was building that big old house. Even though her and Kelly did not get along, it was, truth be told, entertainment because they just didn't vibe too well. But when she left, it felt like the show just really went down. And when it comes to all the others, it's just like it's just really weird. But I hope that Ebony actually works out in New York. But also when it comes down to Shannon knew she was wrong. She still could have let David know exactly what was going on. Just like what you said, even if she had to create a burner account just to tell him what was going on with their daughter. Because that is a very serious offense. Because I already said, if anybody offered my child anything, I would be pissed and I'd be ready to fight you. So she really should have thought that through and not bring that up to the reunion as a haha I got you moment. That to me, that just don't look right, and that just shows how ignorant and childish she really is.
Absolutely.
It was very calculated.
Well said. Yeah, very, very calculated. Well said. The greatest I know you was back there. You said, Monica, let me on. I have something to say. Yeah. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good evening. I'm going to add Miriam to the chat. Hey, Miriam.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, like where do I start? Make it make sense. So Shannon's defense is worse than the crime. So she's saying that Bronwyn, she didn't offer her drugs. She offered the number. So she's given her the continuous source is easier than the actual drug, a few grams. Like, please. It was so disingenuous of her to sit on that information 2 years. And instead of going to the authorities, she signed a contract and she had that woman as a co-worker. So for me, like both are in the wrong, and Shannon even more because she's the mother. It's her duty to protect her child from predators. And yeah, she's predatorial. I feel like Bronwyn, if she didn't try all like real hard to get her own show, it would have been better for her. But I'm glad that it showed her true colors. So she is an alcoholic. So she is in Black Lives Matter, and she wants to be the detective of the group. Like she doesn't want a divorce, but she wants a girlfriend. Like how many things? Like all these things on their own should have been one storyline only.
She's like a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
She just dumped on all of us. Yes, exactly. Well said, Adam. So there's that, and bravo on like I think the success of the shows, just like Adam said, like there was a genuine friendship. As much as I hated some of the Vanderpump rules people, but they were friends, and Family Karma, they have a relationship. Shahs of Sunset, every time they bring someone new, it doesn't work in the show because they don't have a relationship. I think Nima is the only success story that he wasn't in the group and he stayed. You know what I mean? But then like it's always when they try to force a relationship. And so Family Karma is around Indian culture. Of course, we expect only to see Indians. Maybe they interact with some Caucasians or other races, it's fine. But Bravo needs to pick a lane, not only a code of conduct, but the same code be applied in all franchises. I still can't get over the fact that they had Brandy this year on the show when they just fired Leanne. Leanne, she was very entertaining. Like the show lost a lot without her. And they were right, like, firing her. But how come now you have Brandy?
Brandy said ignorant comments too. She said Brandy actually put out there and said that black people cannot swim, which is totally ignorant. It's a stupid statement. It's an ignorant statement. And it was at a different time that we weren't going through 2020 cancel culture and the Black Lives Matter movement necessarily at the time so heavy. So she didn't get the same feedback that she would have had that scene aired in 2020. Which doesn't make it right. It goes back to what Plez is saying, and also the Bishop and Schoolboy, is that this is being addressed in totally a different time. So now it's almost like this is a network who's trying to be like, okay, let me fix this somehow, and what I learned tonight, tokenish, right? Tokenish?
Well, yeah. And their tokenish also like going back. Sometimes they go 20 years back to reprimand people and fire them, and sometimes they don't. They overlook that. That's the problem. They don't apply the same set of rules, even retroactive punishment. Like sometimes they say, oh, 10 years ago you said that, we can't have you on the show. But then other people like Candace, oh, I didn't mean to mention her name, like she's still there.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can't get over the way they treated Monique. I cannot. It was so
I want to play off of what you're saying really quick, Miriam.
They used every dog whistle on the book.
Because you're right, especially with, again, I don't want to start like a hate train for Candace or anything like that, but I also did an interview with Candace right before the Real Housewives of Potomac played out, and we all knew, just like Real Housewives of Atlanta, that we had Strippergate coming, right? So then we knew with Real Housewives of Potomac that we were going to have this altercation. And when I asked Candace before this all happened, I said, listen, I don't want you to spoil anything for Potomac. I'm curious, whose side as the viewers are we going to be on by the end of it? And she said, you make your own judgment call, but I'm sure you won't be on Monique's. Okay. And then I said, I want to ask you one thing. Right now, Bravo is participating in cancel culture by eliminating a lot of the Bravo celebrities who we have grown to love because of their ignorant statements. Vanderpump Rules lost about 4 cast members, and it was because they tweeted something racially insensitive or they did something that was insensitive, and it makes sense, right? You get held to a certain regard for your actions. However, when I was talking to Candace about this, she said, yes, I don't want to be a part of a network that doesn't hold people accountable. This is absolutely atrocious, and they should be held to the highest regard. Now, I just want to put out there, she did have homophobic tweets. And I have somebody in the building who thinks it's cute. Like, and when I say in the building, I'm sorry. I have somebody in my condo building I see her all the time when I'm walking my dogs, and she's like, "Hi, my name is so and so." She's like, "Oh my god, I love my gays. I'm such a fag hag," and I'm like, "You can't say that to me. That's not
What
something
does that even mean?
appropriate." But that's what she says to me, and you know, it's totally cool. It's not totally cool, but for me, I react different than other people would, who might be a part of LGBTQIA. I gotta get all of the letters in here. Community, but for this, it's just interesting because for Candace, you went out and said something that hurt a very different community, and it's not a very different community because also a part of the LGBTQIA community, you have Hispanic, white, Black, Asian. You have every single race and ethnicity a part of that community as well. And she said something that was hurtful to this community. So again, a lot of people want to know, where do you draw the line? What is acceptable and what's not? Because it seems like there's not an HR or there's not a system that is upholding all of these different Bravo celebrities. It seems like they get to do what they want on different levels because of who they are or where they come from. That's not cool.
But Candace also placates to the stereotype of what Caucasians feel all Black women are, and she's a poor representation of Black women, her and Giselle Bryant. There's several Black women that I would not want to see on here if I want better representation of what Black women are. They always pick Black women as angry, aggressive, and all these other things, but then you don't want somebody to see you as that, but yet you do it. It's okay when you do it, but then you tell Monique she's ghetto and she's trashy, but what are you? You know, it's a contradiction to me with some of these people. But as long as the check is coming in, you've got a platform, and you got delusional people that's willing to go with you. Hey, they'll stay with it.
Yeah. Miriam, thank you so much for calling in tonight. We always enjoy your perspective.
Thank you, guys. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Before we head out of here, I'm going to add Princess to the chat. Hey, Princess.
Hey, Nunu.
Come through, blonde.
Oh, you're on mute, honey.
He's sorry. I clicked on side. Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
Nunu. How you doing?
Ooh,
Are you doing an ATL reference up there, Bishop?
No, that's who she
It
is
was,
today.
and it ain't. That's the name of the wig. We named her Nunu.
Oh, okay. I'm new here, so I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm happy that you knew that reference, though, Adam. Go on with your pop culture.
Yeah, because that is my favorite movie. So you know your reference.
All right, Princess. What are your thoughts, Princess, on the tea that was spilled tonight? What are your thoughts? Do you even watch the OC?
I don't watch them whores, but I'm gonna say this. From everything that I've heard and the tea that's been spilled over time, I do have a vernacular of the way I think, and just the life experience. First, I want to address Adam. Adam, thank you for being honest and that recognizing that you have a privileged life and being honest of stuff that you don't know. Okay, that makes you more of an ally to our community, because then you can sit and stay in your own lane and know when to speak and when not to speak, or when to help us. Because acting like you know everything about Black culture, or because, you know, my famous line, I have one Black friend, you know, that doesn't work. And it doesn't work in all avenues because you don't know. And thank you for that. You know, our cultures, independent on our wealth capacity, is very different. There are Black people that don't realize the lives of regular Black people, depending on your class. Now, I didn't hear nothing about no Molly water until I was on the panel. You know, I had never heard that foolishness, and I know addicts, okay? And I'm from the hood, and that all of that, no matter how much money you have, is low class. Those women are low class. As a mother and a parent, I'm probably ready to kill you, or at least beat your ass, when you talk about offering drugs to my child. And of course, it shows that they really don't have any compassion and love for each other. Because if I didn't know, and someone from my village knew, that, you know, someone was offering drugs to my child. If I'd never found out, they would have stepped in and said, look here, sister, you finna get dealt with, okay? The protection of children is very important. And it's just amazing how the love of a dollar, and the word says that it's not money is the root of all evil, it's the love of money is the root of all evil. And it just shows how far these people will go just to make a couple of dollars. Now, my view on the interracial parts of these shows, I liked Kim Zolciak in the beginning of the Housewives of Atlanta because they really knew Kim. Kim just came along with the plan because Nene suggested that Kim come on, and it gave a different dynamic. Far as race is concerned, if you got all white cast, go ahead and have all white cast. Sometimes I enjoy all white cast. Sometimes it's just not my cup of tea. Like the OC, I don't watch them because they don't appeal to me. But it has to be organic. In real life, most rich white people only have maybe one black friend. Bourgeois black people do not always have white friends. They maybe have one white friend. They maybe have one Latino friend, and they only going to have a certain amount of type of black friends that they deal with. And the circles are very small. So for me, is if you bring a friend in, bring somebody that you know. Like on Married to Medicine, it seems like Toya is always the recruiter for the people in the circles. Sometimes it works, but lately a lot of times it doesn't. And these cities are big, but they're small. If we ever had something in Chicago and we had something worthwhile, everybody kind of knows each other in those circles. We all go to the same parties. We all go to the same thing. Even if you don't show up, you know who's going to be at this thing because the circles are small. So I love Shahs of Sunset. Just having any and everybody. I couldn't see any white people or black people on there. It doesn't fit for me, okay? In my mind, I want a Persian friend, okay? Because I watch them and I'm like, yeah, they got it going on, okay? But keep it the way it is. Keep it streamlined. I don't care if you don't have no black people on that show. I care because, like Monica said, the affirmative action part, but don't just put us there and it doesn't fit. It doesn't belong. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be out the next season, and or they're going to abuse the black person that's in the show. And then you're going to have all these racial things that come up because we all know a lot of people, what we say behind closed doors be way different than what we say out in public, okay? And I have white family, and I've had white friends, and then I've just been in some racial situations. And I've lived in 2 months, I lived in New Hampshire. Black people not up there. Okay, so they get to saying stuff, and you be like, "That's real stupid. It's not reality." But at the end of the day, that is their reality, and that was stupid to a lot of us. They don't understand, so you have to make them understand if you're in that element. But you also have to be considerate. This is their reality, and that's the way they move, and that's the way they talk, and that's what they do. So I think I remembered everything I was going to say. If I didn't, then.
You did good, girl. You did.
I love that. That was like a little monologue.
You made a lot of valid points.
Yeah, you had it down.
You have made a lot of valid points.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this thing up. We had another robust, deep conversation on OC Housewives, the future of the show, what you can expect, who might be there, who's in, who's out, and also the race aspect that plays into all of this, and them just, giving us token black housewives, right? We don't want that. We want it to be organic from the start. And if it's not, we don't want it. We're rejecting it. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, Vershawn in New York is bringing the heat. She is not to be played with. That's a real sister with an A at the end. Okay?
I'm here for it.
She's a real sister now. Okay.
Now I'm about to watch it.
Oh, yeah. She's not to be played with. Adam, my love, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was a wonderful conversation. Yeah. We appreciate, you being so open and candid about race and your experiences in life.
Well, can I just end on one note really quick?
Sure.
I saw in the comments where people were asking me, Adam, really, you don't know what the term tokenism is, and I never want to come on here and sound ignorant. But if I do have a question and I don't understand something, I would rather honestly ask it so I can learn and understand it, as opposed to walking through life and acting like I know everything that's going on, or acting like I can relate to certain things that I technically can't. So I would rather ask the hard questions and be educated about it. And yes, I know I might sound ignorant or like a fool to certain people in the chat because I don't know what a certain term means. But however, if you don't ask the questions, you don't learn. So I just wanted to share that really quick. And as always, this is my second time. And for the last 2 times, yes, my jaw has dropped, but this has been an absolute pleasure. Everybody on your panel is fantastic. So I just thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. And guys, if you're not following Adam on YouTube, his channel is Up and Adam. He provides great commentary over there, and he interviews people and does reviews of the shows. Adam, where can they find you? I mean, they must be living under a rock if they're not following you. But where can
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Up and Adam on YouTube, but I don't know if I'm as interesting as all of these guys. But if you're around and you have nothing better to do, just type in Up and Adam. Otherwise, I mean, come learn with me, grow with me, recap with me, and interview with me. That's a lot of fun. But I mean, Monica, you bring the exclusive, so they're not missing anything from me by not seeing you.
Well, listen, we're all in this community together. We should support each other. We should congregate. I'm appreciative of our friendship, our relationship that we forged. And 2021 is our year, Adam. We got to keep this thing going, baby.
Yeah.
Going.
It's our birthday every day, 365.
Exactly. Have a great evening, Adam. You take care.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Bye. Bye. Princess Random, thank you so much for the super chat. Adam, you do you because you are awesome for being mature enough to ask questions, being open-minded and all that jazz. Absolutely. Yeah. If you don't know something, ask. And there's no shame in that. We don't all know things. I learn things every single day. The person that thinks they know everything probably knows the least. Cough, cough, Wendy Uso.
Shots fired.
She knows everything. Okay. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Please, where can they find you?
Hi, y'all can find me on Instagram at scared beautiful, and on YouTube at scared of beautiful, just spaces, no periods. I'm coming with it, y'all.
Y'all better go follow. You better go subscribe to that channel. You know, Class has a lot of good things coming in 2020. Even a lip line, maybe.
Exclusive lipstick.
Exclusive. Okay.
Come on, Monica and Bishop. Y'all need to. This is why I love y'all. Y'all are my family. Y'all speak life into me.
What I suggest you do is every day when you do the show and you have a different lip color, take a picture of yourself or your lips, and show the different colors each day on your Instagram.
I'm a try child, but I just put this lipstick on for y'all. I've been at in Zoom meetings all day, so I don't always go with purple lips to the job. But
no, I'm not saying to the job, but like when you're done getting off the gear, just take a quick picture. I do it all the time before I get on. I'll be having music on, so when Monica's like, "Hey, y'all," I'll be like, "Oh, let me hurry up."
Well, you know, Bishop, sometimes these DMs, child, I be trying to let the people calm down. I'm like, I'm not looking for that type of
no smoke, right?
That type of attention. Just admire it on screen, child. Don't come over here in these DMs unless you got a Trey Songz. Hey.
Oh, goodness gracious. Listen,
I'm playing. I'm sorry.
No, you wasn't.
I'm sorry. The spirit of Marcella hit me for a minute.
She wants that Johnson and Johnson.
That's Sally.
Oh, my goodness.
She wants that Johnson and Johnson. I'm telling you.
Stay woke. Thank you so much. Miss Monica, I learn from you every day. I learn from y'all every day. Thank you so much. Bishop, where can they find you?
You can find me at The Bishop on YouTube, where I am all the time. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bishop Red Pill.
Okay. Princess, where can they find you?
Instagram, Princess AV613. In the bio is all of my social media information, my YouTube. Excuse me, I'm serious. I done had 2 glasses of wine. I'm sorry. My YouTube is House of the Princess, and so is my website is houseoftheprincess.com, and you can go on there and find my Twitter information and any other stuff that I'm on. Thank you.
Great. That's good. Go follow that sister. She's just a beautiful spirit, so supportive, so kind, always in my DMs. Monica, did you see this girl? Girl, how can I help out? How can I do this? She's just amazing, and I love her.
Thank you.
Schoolboy, you're welcome, my love. Schoolboy, where can they find you?
You can find me a few different places. You can find me online at school_boy on YouTube. Then you can find me over on Twitter, holding my fingers back at school_boy. And then you can find me on Instagram with my random thoughts throughout the day, because they are very random, at school_boy_2021.
All right, good. Y'all go follow Schoolboy. You won't be disappointed.
You won't.
No,
You won't.
I entertain y'all all day.
All day.
All as soon as she wake up. Good morning, everybody.
Sure does.
I be up all late. I'm like, she already.
Yeah, child. Oh, yeah. The fun never stops. It's the fun train over there. All right, y'all. I reside here on YouTube, all about the tea. Subscribe to the channel. I mean, we're bringing nightly fun content, real conversations, pull up to our dinner table and we get into some stuff over here, okay?
We do.
Not only do we spill tea, but we talk about trending topics, pop culture. We have interviews on here. I love you too. Thank you so much, Stout, for the super chat. Love you too, baby. Love you too. So subscribe to the channel. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, bang that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the piping hot tea that we spill on this channel. And for the folks that are still here, like the video. I always forget to say that. Like the video. Teacups, thank y'all for tuning in. I love you all. Mods, thank you for holding down the chat. Everyone that sent in a super chat or a cash app, thank you so much for helping us keep the lights on. I want y'all to stay safe and be blessed. Bye.